All right. Good morning, everyone. Unfortunately, today seems to be a day of bad luck. In addition to this whole pandemic situation going on, for myself, I woke up this morning to a sump pump that's not working. Fortunately, I discovered it before we've had any flooding. So in my near future, I have, after this, probably going home to replace the sump pump. And then also, you may notice that I'm opening for the class today, and it's because Violet also has had some unfortunate luck. She woke up this morning and has a problem with her eye. Don't know if it's an infection or a sty, but it's swollen. She's not feeling too well, so she asked that I step in and take over the whole class. So unfortunately, you won't have Violet doing the Badwa Jin and meditation to get you loosened up, but I'll try to fill in with some other classes. So let's go back. So good morning. Okay. And in Tai Chi is part of Yan Shen Gong, which is a life enrichment or longevity exercises. So we're going to open up with some movements that I like to do that are good for reinforcing some of the mechanics of Tai Chi, but also very good for the overall health. Now, I'm going to do all of these movements standing up, but you're free to follow along and do them in a seated position as well. So I like to start the process so I don't forget anything. I start from the top and work my way down. So let's just start with your feet a comfortable distance apart. Put your hands on your hips, and you're going to look to your right, left, right, left, right, and left. Then look up, down, up, down, up, and down. Turn your head in a gentle circle. All of these movements, you want to pay attention to your body. Do what's comfortable for you. Good. And then change directions. Yeah, don't be alarmed if you hear a lot of crackling and popping. So that's perfectly normal. Reach up with your right arm, stretch to your side. So the good news is that it's so natural, they even have a name for it. It's called crepitus. The bad news is that crepitus comes from the same Latin root word as decrepit. And then both hands stretch forward. Extend your right arm up. Bend the elbow. Reach over, pull it behind your head, and stretch. Open up your rib cage. Other side, up, bend, and stretch. And then holding both elbows, turn to one side and look up. Lift from the center of your chest. Turn to the other side, look up. Again, lifting from the center of your chest. And then face forward, look up, trying to keep the arch in your upper back, not the lower back. Then bring your hands to your shoulders and make big circles. As your elbows come forward, feel your chest fold in, collapse. As your elbows go back, let your chest open up, expand. And then reverse. Now alternate. Turn through your waist. Reverse. So in a good Tai Chi class, we want to move every joint in the body and use every muscle. So we'll accomplish a lot of that just in these basic exercises in the beginning. Now, circle one arm back. Change directions. And then the other arm. So as you circle the arm, also rotate the hand. Let the palm face forward and backwards, matching the direction of the arm. And again, let your waist turn. And reverse. Now, Tai Chi is also as much mental exercise as it is physical exercise. So some of the movements we'll do, you find might be a little bit challenging. Okay, so here's your first coordination challenge. We're going to circle the hands and the hips. So you'll find sometimes a movement works better on one side than the other, sometimes better in one direction than the other. But trying the different variations and combinations, I say, exercise the mind as well as the body. Now, change directions. Now, let your arms hang down loosely, turn from side to side. Let your arms wrap gently around your body. So turning through the waist to let the waist and shoulder movement fling the arms, not moving the arms from the shoulders. Turn the body. Keep the arms loose, hanging like pieces of rope attached to your shoulders. Now, let the hands reach a little higher, touch your shoulders. Keep your eyes looking forward as you do this one. Reach a little further, touch your back. And then, if you dare, try bringing your hand to the shoulder on the same side as the hand. So this one, very important to turn the waist to make it work. Good. Now interlace your fingers and rub the sides of the fingers together. So the sides of the fingers don't get much stimulation. The fronts especially, get a lot of contact when we pick up things, touch things. So this helps stimulate the nerves and the blood vessels in between the fingers. Good. Put one hand on top of the other. Change. And now let's wake up our circulation. Tap. Go up the inside of the arm and down the outside. Other arm. Put your palms together and rub. Rub briskly. Get a little heat, a little friction. And then take that heat to your neck. Rub from side to side. Then put your palms together, rub again. And then take your palms and put them on your lower back. And then do hip rotations. Make nice big circles. Loosen up the hips. And change directions. Now interlace your fingers and turn your wrist in circles. Reverse. Again, you'll find things often work better in one direction than the other. Then go up and down. And reverse. Just kidding. Shake out your hands nice and loose. Put your feet together. Put your hands on your knees and turn your knees in gentle circles. So you can make these circles as small or as big as you like. Again, you want to stay in your comfort zone. Change directions. Then separate your knees. Go down and around. Reverse. And then straighten your legs, press back above your knees, and stretch your head forward. Try to make your back nice and flat. Then bend your knees, squat, keep your heels flat on the floor. And here again, go only as low as is comfortable for you. And stretch. Let your arms hang down. Feel that stretch across the back of your legs. And then again, squat. And stretch. Stretch to your right. Stretch to your left. Stretch to the center. Bend your knees slightly. Tuck your tailbone under. Curl up slowly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and up. Good. Give your arms a little shake, loosen up. Good. Now from here, can step out to your right side into a bow stance. Okay, so keep the knee over top of the foot, keep the back leg straighter. And when we do this stretch, I don't want you to push forward. I want you to think about pushing your rear hip down towards the ground. So stretch open the back hip. And then from here, shift into a back stance. Make sure, keep the rear knee over the foot. Don't let it collapse inward. Now shift into a bow stance again, but this time lift the heel on the back foot. And then come up, and then step out to the other side. So bow stance. Again, stretching the rear hip down towards the floor. Back stance. And then bow stance, lifting the heel on the rear foot. Good. And then come up. Okay, so from here, we'll do another stretch. I'll turn sideways so you can better see what I'm doing. But we start with the feet together. I'll open my left foot and swing my right foot out. Put the foot flat, keep the leg straight, and then slide forward and stretch. And then come up, lift the toes, slide back down and stretch. And come up, bring the feet back in, and then step out with the other foot. So let's swing up and out, heel down, foot flat, leg straight, stretch forward. And come up, lift the toes, slide back down. And come up and bring the feet back together. Okay, now we're going to do a gathering chi exercise. So from here, open your left foot, sink your weight to the left, gently step out with the right, shift forward, let your arms float up, shift back, breathe in, shift forward, breathe out. Breathe slowly, smoothly, deeply, breathing in and out through your nose. The tip of the tongue should touch lightly against the roof of your mouth. Your teeth should touch together lightly. Your lips touch together lightly, but without any tension. Synchronize your body to move with your breath. Shift back on the inhale. Shift forward on the exhale. And step back and close. Now, open your right foot. Sink your weight to the right. Gently step out with the left. Shift forward. Breathe out. Shift back. Breathe in. Again, gliding back and forth smoothly, slowly. Let the transition from retreating to advancing be so smooth that you can't quite tell where you've stopped moving backwards and when you've started moving forward. This helps the mind to calm down and slow down and puts you in the right mental state for practicing your Tai Chi. And then step back and close. Okay, and so now for the next one, we're going to open the left foot, lift up the right, step out, grabbing Qi, push forward, breathe out, curl your fingers into loose fists, keep the forearms relaxed, breathe in, pull back. Now this one, we add in turning through the waist, shift, turn, shift, turn. Pull back as we shift, then turn. Push forward as we shift, then turn. Relaxed, fluid. So remember again, even as you make fists, no tension in the forearms. Let your eyes follow your hands. At the top, the eyes follow the center finger of the front hand. At the bottom, use your peripheral vision. Don't tilt your head downward. And step back and close. Open your right foot. Sink your weight to the right. Step out with the left. Push forward. Breathe out. Pull back. Breathe in. Push. Shift and turn. pull, shift, and turn. Like a circle, the movement has no beginning or end. The forward merges into down, the down merges into back, the back merges into up. Let your mind be calm, your body relaxed. Step back and close. Okay, now we're going to do an exercise that comes from the Badwa Jin. And this is one where we're going to start, interlace our fingers in front. Stretch up, look forward, rise up on your toes. Come down. Then stretch to one side. Come up, stretch to the other side. Come up and float your arms down the center. You can adjust your feet to a comfortable posture. Okay? Breathe in. Stretch up. Rise up on your toes. Sink down. Breathe out. Stretch to the side. Breathe in. Breathe out. Stretch to the other side. Breathe in. Breathe out. Float your arms down the center. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. And breathe in. Out. Stretch up onto your toes. In. Sink down. Then breathe out. As you lean to the side, let the pressure push the air out of your lungs. Then breathe in. Let the lungs inflate, and the pressure of the lungs pushes you back up. Breathe out to the other side. Breathe in and out. And once more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. Now put your feet about shoulder width apart, palms down. And then this is also one variation of what you see Violet normally finish up with. So we're going to shift to the left, lift the right foot and hand like they're connected by a string, cut the string, let them drop. When they drop, we don't drive our weight over. We just let the weight of the limb drop, being pulled down by gravity. Now we shift to the right, lift the left hand and left foot, and drop. Shift, lift, and drop. Shift, lift, and drop. You want to feel a nice little thunk. So a slight jarring effect, which does so much to help boost bone density. And good stimulation for all of the acupuncture points on the bottoms of the feet. Good for balance and strength as we put all of the weight on one side and then shift to the other side. And close. Good. Give your arms and legs a little shake. And then if you like, this is a good time to grab a quick sip of water. Okay, and then we'll be right back for more. All right, so now let's continue with some silk reeling. Okay, so let's start with your feet together. You're going to sink your weight to your left, put your left hand on your hip, step out with your right. Now shift to the right as the hand comes up and turn. So front circles with the right hand. Shift left, turn left. Shift right, turn right. Shift and turn. So again, we want to move smoothly, fluidly. And we want the movement to feel continuous. So as we shift, before the shift completes, we begin our turn. Before the turn completes, we begin our next shift. And before that shift completes, into the next turn. So like a circle, again, the movement has no beginning, no end. Constant movement. And when we move, we want the whole body to work together. When one part moves, all parts move. Keep the head level, but let the eyes follow the hand. Again, at the bottom, we use our peripheral vision. At the top, we can put our attention on the center finger of the hand. Pause on your right, turn the palm up, shift left, turn left. So reverse front circle with the right hand. At the bottom, the palm faces down. At the top, the palm faces up. Shift becomes turn. Turn becomes shift. One movement merges into the next. At the top, the hand is about shoulder height. At the bottom, the hand is just below the waist. Now, hook in the right foot, drop the right hand to the waist. Open the left foot, extend the left arm, 80% extension. And then front circles with the left hand. Shift right, turn right. Shift left, turn left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down the side, across the bottom. Up the other side, across the top. So the movements, we can see how they define a box. But we don't want to have sharp angles in our Tai Chi. So we're going to make our box, our square, round. Connect the corners of the square with a bigger circle. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. Pause on our left. Shift right, turn the palm up. Reverse front circles with the left hand. And one more. And close. Now, learning from a video can be challenging, even more challenging to learn from a book. So people will often see in descriptions of Chen Tai Chi, it says that our hand shouldn't cross this center line. Okay, but we see these movements, and I'm obviously turning way over here. So one of the things to remember is that the center line is not fixed. So people often think that crossing the center line means the hand can't go past the straight forward 90 degrees perpendicular from the direction the body is facing. So this then would be crossing the center. But notice that our state is dynamic. Our body doesn't stay fixed. So when the hand comes across the center of the body, if we have a line from our chest forward, turns because our body turns. So therefore, even though the hand comes so far across, it doesn't cross the center of the body. So that admonition against crossing the center of the body isn't worried about the position of the hand. It's concerned with what happens to our pung energy. So if our hand is here, we can come to about here and stay very pung. If the hand crosses over, you can see this starts to collapse. So a force coming in here is going to push against our body, collapse us very easily. If we stay here, we can deflect. We're more round. We can deflect off to the side. So when we turn, it's important to realize that this is not a movement of the shoulder. The silk reeling really comes from the dantian, from the waist. So if we look at this position, if I mark where my shoulder is, notice here, the hand drops down. So obviously here with the shift, we move from the shoulder. So now if I reconnect here, when I turn, notice my shoulder isn't moving. The turn comes completely from the waist. Then when I lift, the shoulder moves, but if I reconnect here, when I turn, the shoulder doesn't move. The movement comes completely from the waist. So we keep this structure strong, very pong, expanding outward, not moving around from the shoulder, which is a surprisingly weak joint. We want to use the shoulder just to maintain our structure, and we can bring the strength of the legs out into the hands. Okay, so now we're going to continue with some more silk reeling. We're going to do some two-handed reeling. So again, start with the feet together. You're going to sink your weight to the left, step out to your right, bring both hands up to your left, and then shift, turn, and push to your right. Shift, turn, and pull to your left. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. And again, these movements can be practiced seated. So for the casual observer, it may not look like much work. But when you do it, you begin to realize how much the legs are working. So not straining, but we have constant effort being expended. As we shift, one leg becomes substantial. We shift, the other leg becomes substantial. So we're constantly changing from substantial to insubstantial. And again, the movement's smooth, continuous. Pause on your right, reverse the hand, shift left, turn left. So now we change directions, two-hand silk reeling. The substantial leg supports about 70% of the weight. So we transfer from 70-30 on the left to 70 on the right. And one more. And close. Good. Give your arms and legs a little shake, loosen everything up. So it's important too in the silk reeling, don't let tension creep into your shoulders. So if your shoulders are getting really sore and bothering you, it's probably because you're overdoing the amount of effort required to move the arms. You want to let them move lightly. They should feel like they're moving almost of their own accord. So the arms are almost floating, moving effortlessly. And when you do that, the shoulders will be more relaxed. The muscles will not tire out as quickly, and you won't get that soreness. Okay, so let's review from last week. We were practicing some stepping footwork, doing silk reeling as well. And so we're going to start off reviewing some of that, and then I'm going to see if I can confuse you. Okay, so let's move over to one side so we have a little bit of room to travel. Okay, sink your weight to the right, step out to your left, shift to the left. So we're going to do combining step. We're going to shift and turn, shift, turn, and step in. Feet combine together. Weight stays on the left. Now we shift the weight to the right and we step out. Shift to the left, turn and step in. Shift, turn and step, shift, turn and step. Now don't step, just shift and turn a couple of cycles. And then we can reverse directions, combining step, moving to our right. Now, don't step, just shift and turn. And then bring up your right arm. One cycle, silk reeling. Now move to the left. Shift, turn and step, shift, turn and step. Now don't step, shift and turn, shift and turn. Now we can reverse directions. So the arm is still making a front circle, but we're stepping to the right now instead of to the left. And then don't step, shift and turn, and switch over to the left hand. Shift and turn. Now let's do a cross behind step. Don't step, shift and turn. And then we can reverse directions. Cross behind with the left foot. Step out with the right. Don't step, shift and turn. Change hands. Cross behind with the right foot. Step apart. Don't step, just shift and turn. And change directions, moving to the right. Now, don't step, shift and turn. Now, both hands. Cloud hand, silk reeling. And then let's go back to the combining step. Shift left, then step left. Shift and turn, shift and turn. Now don't step, shift and turn. And change directions, combining step again. Good. Then don't step, shift and turn. Now we'll go to the cross behind step. Now don't step, shift and turn. And go back in the opposite direction. Now don't step, shift and turn. Okay, so adding in two hands may have been slightly more confusing, but here's where I'm going to really try to confuse you. We're going to use this cross behind step to make a turn. Okay, so cross behind, 1, step apart. Cross behind, 2, step apart. Cross behind, 3. Now pivot on the back foot, and then we can go back. Cross behind, step apart. Cross behind, step apart. One more. Good. Now we can go this way. Cross behind. Now this time pivot on the foot. Turn around. Drop your right hand. Now move to the right. Cross behind and turn. Are you confused yet? Now, remember I mentioned Tai Chi is much mental exercise as it is physical exercise. So this movement may be confusing physically. Coordinating the hands and the feet and then making the turn. But now I'm going to confuse you mentally. Okay, so now when we do this, are we going in the same direction as when we do this, or are we going the opposite direction? Okay, and close. All right, so as you ponder that, I'll go ahead and tell you that for those of you who know me already, the correct answer, are we going the same direction or the opposite direction? The only correct answer is yes. Okay, and the reason for that is that we can look at movements from a relative perspective or an absolute or internal perspective. So when I'm going this way, okay, if you're following along, you're moving to your right. Okay, and then objectively, relatively, we're moving to that wall over there. Now, when we step around and turn behind, this would still be moving to your right internally as you turn around. So you haven't changed directions. You're still moving to the same side. However, obviously, you're moving towards the opposite wall. So one time you're moving towards that wall, one time you're moving towards that wall. But again, from the perspective of your body, you're moving in the same direction. Okay? So now to make the cloud hands a little more confusing, we're going to try to change our relative direction as we turn, but keep going the absolute direction. Okay, so we're going to start off here, and the idea is we're going to move towards that wall. Okay, so it can start off with the feet apart, weight shifted on the right, hands to the right, and we'll go cross behind, step apart, cross behind, turn, now cross behind, step apart, cross behind, step apart, cross behind, turn. Now we can change directions. Cross behind, turn. Now we can go in the same direction as far as compass point is concerned, but we're going the opposite direction as far as the body is concerned. 1, 2, 3, turn. And close. Okay, so if I haven't gotten you confused yet, I've probably at least gotten you a little bit dizzy. Okay, good. So one of the things that's important in our Tai Chi is to be aware of our body movements. So we have to pay attention to what we're doing internally. So that's why this movement is the same as this movement, because internally the mechanics are the same. Both hands are pushing away at the top. But from a relative perspective, an outsider looks at it and sees that these hands are pushing in opposite directions. Okay, so in Tai Chi, we have to be aware that our language is imprecise for describing a lot of movements. We are used to defining left and right, and so that assumes opposite. But when we do a movement on the left side of the body, we don't need to imply that going down on the left is different from going down on the right. We can just move the hands downward. So this is a closing movement coming here. And then at the top, we don't have to worry about saying, oh, the right hand goes to the right, but we move the left hand to the left. We just say we're making an opening movement. The hands are separating apart. Okay, so that way the terminology, the description is better. And we know already it's very hard to describe Tai Chi movements. Just the printed word is difficult. And as you're finding out here, even the video can be difficult. Well, that's why it's important to have a good teacher that you can observe in person, who can move around you, and that you can move around them too and ask questions. So that's my one regret, that in this format, the positive thing is that we can reach a lot of people and help them on their journey of learning Tai Chi. The negative, of course, is that there's not as much interaction. So while this pandemic is going on and so many people are stuck at home, remember that these online classes are to assist you with your training, but there's no substitute to finding a good local teacher that you can work with one-on-one. And I think we're all looking forward to that day when we can go back to training in person instead of just over the internet. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm sure you'll all join me too in wishing Violet a speedy recovery. At this time, it's a shame for anybody to feel bad. We're already suffering so much, with restrictions and being stuck at home. So we cope the best that we can, but it's easier to cope if you're healthy and strong. Okay.
Billy?
Yes, Violet.
Billy, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Well, thank you so much for stepping the last minute, and Gil and other friends, and if you're watching live. And well, this morning I had a little bit problem with my right eye. Something got into my eye, so then I feel much better. At first, I could not really open my eyes well, and then I get better. Then I thought, okay, I'm going to take lesson with Billy myself as well. And then Billy started turning and turning and turning. I said, oh, do I have a new eye problem? Now I see he is circling and circling and circling. But I think that was a very good exercise for everyone. I hope you
Okay.
all enjoying it. And Billy, I don't know what to say. And thank you so much. And okay, and now we see you tomorrow, right?
Right. And always, Violet, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for making this available to so many people. So, again, thank you for all your efforts.
Okay, well, everyone, see you tomorrow. Okay,
Okay.
bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Okay, strange. I could not enter the class.
Mm-hmm.